Hello and welcome to this quick explainer video for the concepts of Power BI. Now, Power BI is all about business intelligence. Business intelligence is here to stay because we have huge amounts of data coming at us from all over the place, and we know we can use this data to make better business decisions, but in its raw form it's not much help, so that data needs to be processed to make it useful. Dashboards are the ultimate and perfect format for this information. It's basically a distillation of all the information to just the key metrics that we need to make high-level strategic business decisions. Now, BI pros are very good at analysing data, but they are expensive and they don't understand our business. Employees, on the other hand, completely understand the business, but they don't understand the pro BI tools like SQL Server analysis services. What we need is something in between, self-service BI, which in Microsoft's world is Power BI. Now, you might be sitting there thinking, oh, I've got Excel, I can analyze data in that. Why do I need Power BI? Well, Excel is very good. It's supremely flexible. You probably know how to use it already, and if there's something you don't know, somebody else in the business will, or you can just Google it. Most systems can export to Excel, so it does seem a good starting point, but there are some limitations, mainly around sharing and performance. So if you're sharing an Excel file, it works if it's 2 or 3 people or even half a dozen, but anything more than that, it starts to get a little bit tricky. Performance is also an issue with large data sets, particularly with the 1 million row data limit in an Excel sheet. Once you get beyond that, everything gets harder work. Connecting datasets together is possible in Excel using VLOOKUP or HLOOKUP or a similar function, but very, very delicate, so it becomes very easy to break our spreadsheets. Now, Microsoft worked this out some 10 years ago and introduced Power Query and Power Pivot, which got around some of the issues regarding row limits and performance with calculations and connecting datasets together. But although this evolved as far as Excel 2016, this functionality is now contained in and being actively developed in Power BI. Okay, so having decided that Power BI is worth a look, what is it? Essentially, it's a cloud service that contains datasets, and from the datasets you can create reports, and from the reports you can condense that information still further into dashboards. Each dataset feeds into a report, which might be 1 or more pages, and each report can be fed through to 1 or more dashboards. So a dashboard, again, is a great way of distilling all the various bits of information into one at-a-glance view. Now, to get information out of this Power BI service, all we need is a device. That might be a laptop or desktop computer, or an iOS or Android tablet or phone. And with these apps, you can take the data offline. You can also build it into things like PowerPoint presentations. Other options are available, so you can use the Power BI API to build your own custom applications to pull that content into. You can push it back into Excel to analyze it further, and you can also publish to the web if you want to make it public. To get information in the first place, though, the main requirement is a web browser, at which point you can connect to the Power BI service and start uploading data, which might be an Excel or a CSV file. From there you can author reports and create the dashboards. Being a cloud service, it's very good at connecting to other cloud services like Google Analytics or Salesforce organizations. But the ultimate power comes from Power BI Desktop. So from there you can pull in pretty much anything, but then split and combine that data, create relationships between different data sources, base calculations on that data, and create the reports, at which point you need to publish it to the Power BI service to make it available to other people. That can also be set up as a refresh, so if the data changes, any of those changes get published straight into the Power BI service on a schedule. So how much does all that cost? Well, pretty much all of it is available free of charge. You get access to the service, the Power BI desktop application, you can have really very large data sets, and you can schedule refreshes. So why do you need to pay anything? Well, it's if you want to share that data or view data that somebody shared with you, then each person needs a pro license, which at the moment is around £10 per person per month. It also enables group sort of collaborative work to develop reports and dashboards, but for all of that you need the pro version. Beyond that, you can then opt for premium capacity, which starts at around £4,000 a month, and even then you still need a pro license to create the content, but the key is you don't need a license to consume the data that's held in premium capacity. So if you're talking about a few hundred people, then it starts to become a very attractive option. Now, to learn Power BI, most of it is in the kind of overview, introduction area. You need to learn how to use the service and interact with that. You need to know how to use the Power BI desktop application and how to publish that information on a schedule to the Power BI service, and then from there you can set up sharing, alerts, and tweak security in the Power BI service. Beyond that, you're looking at learning the DAX and the M languages, which underpin the functionality in Power BI desktop. And DAX is an amalgamation between Excel, SQL, and MDX. It's a function-based language, has some very simple concepts, but it combines to form a very powerful calculation language that ultimately is a little bit complicated to learn. And the M language, which is used for data import and manipulation, is exactly the same as that used in Power Query.